película. Ella comparte amigas, dice que todo se va. Sáquenme la botella que funda para gastarle. Esta noche tú y yo nos vivimos la película. Luce cámara, la acción después en mi recámara. En el duelo no se sabe quién ganará. So baile, baby, ese seguro y retrocede. Que me encanta la manera en que tú lo mueves.
Solo pégate un poquito pa' mí, que yo quiero enseñarte lo que yo tengo pa' ti, lo que tengo pa' ti. Sé que te va a encantar como meto yo.
What is going on, NFL Nation, as we get a wide variety of people that tune into the shows. Man, that song gets me pumped up, and if you can understand any part of Spanish there, it's the meaning to it, everything that vibes with it. It definitely gets me ready as the NFL season schedule came out. This also gets me ready for NFL season that, hey, at least everybody resets it, gets the hopes back up, and everybody's feeling good about it, even though the NFC East has its own difficult road. Each team does. The one difficult road for this being on YouTube is having my partner here, and that's Gametime Bryan. What's up, Gametime? Welcome back, sir.
Welcome back. What's going on, Phil? Phil, it's a Saturday night, and I'm glad we're doing something because, I had a nice little nap. I'm doing good now, man. I'm doing good. Maybe an hour ago I was out. I was a little in the fog. But what's going on, man? Just the rain here has definitely helped the allergies. How are you doing? That's what everybody wants to know. How's Phil doing tonight?
Doing well, man. The anniversary is today. The wifey and me getting along. So it's been a beautiful, great day. She's right now doing some spa stuff, as I do this. So that's why, people go, well, you're neglecting your. No, she forced me to do. No, you're gonna do the broadcast. I'm like, all right, we're doing the broadcast.
That's a good woman. Yeah, a good woman.
Yes. So here we are, man, talking any kind of Cowboys football, talking NFL football, talking just. Here we are in this lull. This is that time that we talked about where, if there's a move to be made, that's going to pop some more stuff. I mean, the Cowboys are always in there. Perkins thing is still there. Pickens, I'm sorry. But when you look at this team, and obviously we, in the schedule that's come out, we obviously can see it. The Giants, the Giants, the number one to me, where they have the most difficult schedule out of all of them. And with the team that's still trying to get back out. So before I put you into our team, let's go a little bit over the NFC East and talk about those teams and what we feel going into it. Obviously, we have no idea about the roster. We don't know how people are going to gel together. We don't know training camps, injury, any of the I word, that we try not to say, but we know that it does play factors into these type of schedules. Let's start with the Giants. I mean, let's start with the bottom as we go. And I mean, I'd like to move up and then talk about the Cowboys at the end there, and what we feel about with them. But tell me, what is your view on the Giants and how the offseason has gone for them?
Listen, the Giants have had a great offseason, in my opinion. We could say what you want, but at the end of the day, I think the Giants did the right thing by not taking Shedeur Sanders. They took the best player available. You can never go wrong with to me, it was either Abdul Carter or maybe try and trade down. But the draft was one where there was only a few, 3, 4, 5, whatever you deem generational, like top franchise type players. Then there was everybody else. So they got one of them guys, and we'll see what Abdul Carter is going to do. But the fact that they were able to trade back into the first round and grab hopefully their future starting quarterback.
Let me just say, when I look at them, I definitely feel a little bit there compared to when Daniel Jones was there and he got drafted. I was like, oh, okay, whatever, man. I'm good with that move if that's going to be your future and your piece and everything like that. This one's a little bit, obviously we talked about it. We were hyping and raving about Jackson Dart, and we understand he still got to make that transition from college to the NFL. But every transition part of the way, whether it's for those bowl games, whether it's for the scouting combine, he's done those things, and so I think they got definitely a really good franchise piece there.
Our friend Randy McIntyre got me on the Dart. I knew who he was, but you You hear a guy named Jackson Dart, you kind of like side eye it. But then when you look at the player, Jackson Dart is all that. He is definitely all that. And I'm telling you, he's bigger than I thought he was. He was standing next to Abdul Carter, and he had a good inch on him. Pause. Yeah. But he did. And now at the OTA, the rookie minicamp, I mean, he was throwing the ball really good. I mean, all indications are they are thrilled. And it makes you wonder why certain teams didn't vie to get ahead of the Giants. I mean, I called it, right? We called them hopping back into the first round. We didn't know really where. I said New York. They ended up hopping back in with Houston. They gave up a king's ransom to do so. But if you get your starting quarterback, Phil, at least you could put that behind you. And my question to you is he a day one starter, Phil?
Well, I think with the rest of the roster that you have there, no, I think he's the first year sitter, if anything. I mean, even if you have, for example, Russell Wilson that's coming in here, to me, Russell Wilson is the guy to lead them into that next year. And Jameis Winston being the backup, and then Jackson Dart being your third guy, just because you want NFL experience there, and you don't want to just throw them into the fire. You want to. I think the best quarterbacks come when they develop behind somebody. And as much as Jameis Winston is a goofball, I mean, he still has some value to him that I'm pretty sure he could pass along. Well, at least what not to do, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but
Jackson
when I look
fart, as Ultra says, Jackson fart.
When I look at the moves, good job with the defense. Definitely building that up. Offensive line, I think, is the question mark there. Scattaboo, they're excited about him. He's better than what they had on the roster. Let's just say that. As backups and all that kind of stuff, he's better. So, did the roster improve in this offseason? Yeah, I would say it improved quite a bit. A nice little jump. Will that be enough to catch the rest of the NFC East? That's going to be a question.
Well, not this year, but. Yeah. And talking
these are cornerstone pieces.
The draft, Phil, Pizzle's still walking around with a rock hard erection.
I don't blame him. That was a great draft for them. Very great draft. Cornerstone pieces.
Wet towels. You can hang wet towels off of it. He's so happy. But
he's like, and I have.
And I have. Maybe I'll whistle.
It's not the Folgers coffee.
But he's very, very excited. Jesse, I know, is excited. I just want Jesse to understand one thing, and I hope to hang out with Jesse soon, is that don't get caught up. You will have a better record this year. I can almost guarantee it. Listen, it's hard not to. But I'm thinking 6-7 would be unbelievable. And just don't worry about it. Just enjoy the,
Yeah, I think with the
on a quiz level, enjoy the week in, week out. Once Jackson Dart actually is the starter. Me personally, Phil, I don't understand why they have I guess because they didn't know if they were going to get Dart.
Yeah, I don't think
I'll be surprised if both of those quarterbacks are on the team at the start of the season.
Now, I think it's right there. Who's the other one? I think what's his name? The guy from last year, Da Vinci. What is his? DeVito.
Yeah. Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito. I don't know what his name. I think he'll be the one odd man out. Just in the sense of the other three and what they're capable of.
It's possible, but my question to you is either one of those guys comfortable being the emergency guy?
Or the placeholder? Is that what you're talking about?
You need four, but they have big time guys.
They can put that dude on the practice
squad. What the hell am I doing there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I can't even remember that damn name is. I can't even remember his name.
Tommy DeVito.
Tommy DeVito. There it is. I'm like, I couldn't remember his first name.
I said DeVito, but I figured that would lodge you.
No, it wouldn't. I never rode the train there.
Not a one.
Not a one. But when you look at the weapons, they definitely added a little there. It's going to be at least something. Some weapons. I think, definitely in a couple of years, it's going to be a really good, complete team, especially with these young contracts. And I say this, and I think this is a lot that reflects a lot of the NFC East. the record at the end of the season is definitely may not tell the tale of how good this team truly is. Just because they can probably play some outstanding football and be there, you got to just see when they lose is how they lose. It's all like, is it close games? Are they like letting it go at the end because those young guys are tired? Is it they're getting blown out? So these losses actually mean something in how it's being done. Lord Nova.
First and foremost, we need to say hello. Where have you been, Lord Nova? Lord Nova, Lord Nova. Where have you been? I hope all is well, my friend. I don't know if you've been getting to the chat, but let me.
Yeah, I've been trying to bring up.
We got Loyal Cowboy in here. We got my man Clemente in the house. We got Chris May's Game Grub and Cowboys. Arturo, Jimbo, my neighbor Jimbo. We got to hang out soon, bro. Let me know when it's a good time. Email me or whatever. I don't know if you have my number, but he literally lives less than 10 minutes away. Sugar Daddy, what's going on? Coyote, Darlene Mosher, the Moshers. Anytime you see Darlene, just know that it's David is quite possibly on the app. So it's David and Darlene. So Coyote, what's going on? Jesse Martinez, definitely want to hang out with you. Game 1, probably at the Chicky and Pete's. Blue Virus, what's going on, brother? What's going on? I'm trying to convince Phil to get even if it's just do the channel members, and then we could do like
channel member stuff.
Yeah. I think that you definitely need to do that. You'd be surprised how that works. People love it. George Cowboys for life. What's up, brother? How are you? Dirty Sanchez is in the house. I know I smelled something. What's up, brother? Momo is here. What's up, man? How are you, Momo?
There he goes.
It's my son's 21st birthday today.
So Loyal with the super chat said, "What's up, time boys? What's going on, Loyal? How's it going, man? This offseason, this is the time where we're in between that lull. I think that's where we're gonna reach out, maybe get some people on to talk. I think a members chat is definitely a good one. I want to be able to definitely commit to just being able to commit to channel members.
That's what I said. Yeah. I hear you, bro. I do enough for now, but eventually you need to do it.
Yes, I do. Yes, definitely.
But anyway, I wanted to just remind everybody. I should have put the link in here. You know what? I'll find the link in one of these rants by Phil, and I'll throw it in here. Or at least I'll put the dates, and Phil can. That's what I'll do, Phil. In the chat, I'll put the dates of our trip. Mm-hmm. Me and Phil are locked in, people. We need as many of you people who want to come hang out with us. I know Ultra going to be tough for him to get there, but we need to have everybody. I literally have Thomas Garrett, Randy McIntyre, Mike Ward, William Tilton, West Virginia Country Boy, and Oscar Perini are all definites. So they are locked and loaded. Most of them have already got their plane tickets or their room reservations, I mean. Virus says he wants to. Wade, I think Wade will be there. Drew, Momo, I don't think Drew will be. Momo, you never know. And Loyal Cowboy, we need him there. Again, we were all a close-knit family. If you guys, I was telling Wade, maybe him and Loyal or him and Randy or somebody, maybe team up in a room or something. Again, I know, that's probably the way to go, but we really do want to have a nice group up there in Vegas, so we're looking forward to it. But circling back, right, Phil?
And as you're talking about Momo, I think we go to the next one. I think we go to Washington.
The Commandos.
The Commandos. You, I think, have a very interesting opinion about them, which I'd like you to go ahead and share because you're kind of, I think, on the a little bit. I want to say opposite of me, but go ahead.
I think Momo agrees with me, Phil. I think Momo is on board. Now, when I say I don't know that, like a step back, what does a step back mean? Maybe not going to the NFC Championship game. Momo, maybe it's a step back in the regular season, eke into the playoff, and still get that far. I mean, I don't know. I haven't really.
Well, we don't know the rest of the
hammered
NFC
down on it. But when you look at their schedule, right? It is what it is. You have the sophomore slump by the quarterback. Will he suffer it? It's not his fault, by the way, if he does. If he suffers it.
I think the running ability kind of helps him get out of that. So if he doesn't have to sit there.
Yeah.
So if he's ever kind of feeling that way, he can start running and running and running, and then until he loosens up the defense a little bit, and then he actually can start to throw over the top of them into tight ends and stuff. So I am with you in the sense of that part of it. I think they take a step back in the sense they don't make it all the way to the NFC East or the NFC Championship game, but I see the roster still being really where it's at. They did lose some pieces. They didn't gain a lot of great pieces. So they're kind of right there. I kind of expect them to still be a qualifying team, and they did. They did add Deebo Samuel.
Though, right?
So I mean, how long does he stay healthy? It's just a lot of question marks and stuff. But
when does he deliver? When does he have the baby? I mean, we don't know when his due date is. Oh wait, did I say that? No, I'm joking, Momo. Deebo he was a little portly, coming into Washington, but I'm sure he'll get. He's just a solid, thick individual. Again,
the one thing they said that they had to improve in the running back position, but I didn't really think they did. I thought they had a pretty good running back crew last year. They're just not.
I like Robinson.
Yeah, so that's why I know they were probably shopping around one of them, but I don't think it was as bad as some of the people in the offseason were talking. She's thick. So, what do you? So I'm with you. I think that's an agreement. I think even if they're going to be up there to be able to.
I think they're a talented football team.
Yeah,
which is what I think.
And the coaching staff, he's going to make sure that his team are in those games. Let's be real.
Yeah, I think Watson's talented. Again, just by normal, just by normal, the league has more tape on them. That's all. The league has more tape on the quarterback. And I love the quarterback. I love Jaden Daniels. I told you at the draft in Detroit that I thought he was the best quarterback coming out. Now, as it turns out...
Does he look like a bitch?
No, I don't think so. he was the best quarterback coming out of there. It was like, let's be real.
Thicker than government cheese, says Jimbo. But, I think that they're a talented football team. I do. Scary Terry, now Deebo. I think you have a winner at the quarterback position, but that I don't know that that's going to mean what you think it's going to mean this year. One of two things are going to happen. Either they're going to win a division and take a complete step ahead, or they're going to be fighting for that wild card spot. I think Momo thinks that they're going to fight for that wild card spot. I think Momo has... I don't know. I think
that's
Washington.
I think it's
Dallas,
legit. I think that's legit. I think they are. They are in competition to fight for that. If not, depending on the rest, and really depending on the rest of the league, they could already kind of be in there. But I would say they're there in that wild card spot. That's a pretty good assumption.
If you look at their schedule, they start out at home against the Giants, so that's good, right? I mean, I'm sorry, Jesse, but that's a good thing. Now, Giants could surprise us on the road week 1. That's a good spot for the Giants, but it's definitely a good spot for Washington. And then they go to Green Bay. We all know the early starts of Green Bay have not been the greatest in recent years. Then they come home against the Raiders, so they could actually get off to a good start, and then at the Falcons. So the first month is not hard at all. So they could get out to a good start. They need to get out to a good start. Again, they are a big mystery to me. I like their head coach. Their head coach has proven to be able to motivate. I don't know their head coach has been proven to be able to make adjustments as much on the fly as a head coach, and I'm not trying to be critical, but Dan Quinn, he doesn't really morph into anything else or counter-react. He does what he does. And he wants to beat you at it. And sometimes, as we saw, it can go south, quickly under Dan Quinn. But, yeah, listen, no hate. They are our true rival, by the way. I'm not trying to upset any Eagle fans. The Washington Commanders, and I hate saying that name.
Yeah.
The Washington Redskins and the Dallas Cowboys will always be
Cowboys and Indians.
That's the main rival. Eagle fans don't understand. And it goes back from the 90s when Dallas would be on top, and then now the Eagles are on top. The only way it means anything is when both teams are good with Dallas and the Eagles, as far as Dallas is concerned. As far as the Commanders are concerned, it does not matter who's good or who's bad. It's like, oh my God, we're playing Washington. They always seem to play as well. Last year, though, if you look back at last year, Phil, we should have beat them both games. Thank God we didn't, because we may not have got Tyler Booker the way Houston was feverishly trying to trade up to get him. We got him, so he's on our side. He's with the good guys. So I don't know, man. Again, we'll get into schedules and predicting, but it's way too early for that.
Yeah, I want to see them hit. I want to see them run. I want to see them with pads on and how they look in training camp. And I know it's against each other, but yeah, it's just still seeing them move around in the NFL speed with the speed around them as well. How much do they keep up with stuff? And you always got to watch those transition of that one guy that flashes in training camp. That's a nobody, So it's just we've had a couple of those guys, and then they disappear pretty quickly. So as we go into that next one, obviously the third that we're going to talk about is, of course, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Now? You saving the best for last, the Birds, or
no, we're us for last. But
it's no wonder you don't have any friends.
Yeah, I mean, we're the best for last, man. Let's be real.
Any question?
So yeah, with the Eagles, I mean,
Phil,
no,
you let me know about the Birds.
Well, when I look,
yeah,
I bet you do. Negative, positively, I think they will win the division. I mean, that's in general. I think their roster is good enough to roll over. Yeah, roll over. Obviously, injury, any of that stuff, schedule, strength of schedules, how other teams are playing, all this stuff comes into play. So I am smart enough to at least see when injuries are happening that, okay, that team is suffering from them. Yeah, it's not just we whooped their ass and all that kind of stuff. Like they like to say about Detroit. Detroit wasn't apparently a threat. Well, Detroit obviously had 35 injuries, so that's more than half your roster. And then that's going to affect you, and the fact that they pushed as far as they did, offense they lose their coordinator.
I'm just playing, Rob. I'm just stirring the pot, brother.
Offense they lose their coordinator, but I don't really think the offensive coordinator mattered very much. We know what the whole agenda of the offense is, and I think the defense is good enough to at least push along with it. So I see them being able to be up there, and I'll be here for at least the next year or two. But until that roster starts to get kind of picked apart, but they do got some really good depth. So even if injuries happen, I'm interested to see some of these young guys and how they approach it, because guess what? They're going to be expected to win, and if you don't perform, you know how Philadelphia is. They're throwing beer cans at their own general manager that is doing amazing things over there. And if he's not safe, who the hell is, really?
But it was in a positive light. They were trying to throw the man a beer. He had an open hand.
He just can't catch.
Come on, man. Well, you can't catch when you're on a float and there's beers coming from all ankles. I hadn't laughed that hard.
He's bound to catch one of them, right?
Dude, I hadn't laughed that hard in a while. And then Howie has the balls to stand up and say, I bleed for you. No, you bleed because you can't freaking catch.
No, we make you bleed for us. That's what it is. There's a difference.
Just thinking about it is freaking fun. But on a serious note, Rob, I'm just playing with you, buddy. I'm just playing. It's Saturday night.
Now it's just going to be, again, it's going to be those other teams. Is it going to mean anything? Ben Johnson began at Detroit. Is that going to mean something? So there's a lot of question marks. Is Ben Johnson going to be anything in Chicago? I don't see it as much. And if you are, it's not going to be an instant success. The Rams look like a threat, stuff there. So I still see them winning our division unless, of course, things happen.
I'm probably going to pick them to win a division as well. Again, all the shit talking, but I never. Again, some Eagle fans get all worked up when I say I think Dallas will win 9-10 games. That's not going to be enough to win a division unless something happens. Well, what could possibly happen, to the Eagles? Well, again,
we all know the I word.
I don't want to say the word. You guys know what I'm thinking. Even though some of you don't give us any damn respect from last year, I'm not going to go there. I do not wish that upon you. And you say, well, why? All the shit that you deal with, guys, why wouldn't you wish that upon the Eagles? Why? Because I yearn for the Giants to be really good and Washington, to be really good, Dallas to be good, and the Eagles to be good. And they are good, but to stay good. Because I want to have an exciting end and playoff run. I want to have that moment where Emmett goes into the Meadowlands with a separated shoulder and does what he does and pushes us into the playoffs. I want to have that moment. And, I don't know, but they're off to a bad start. in my light, and it's no fault due to the Eagles. Well, I don't know if you heard the rumor. Saquon Barkley is
The Madden. Yeah.
supposedly going to be on the cover of Madden, and we all know how that goes, right? We all know how that goes. Sometimes it's good. I do want no part of
McCaffrey
Madden.
was the last one. You see what happened last
I want
one.
no part of the Madden jinx.
Yeah,
But
he's
again,
going to be eventually. He's going to be one of our guys. It's going to be
Eagles are gonna be
Parson. It's
good.
going to be at some point. It's just that's how it goes. It's just you got to push it out of
But
the
are we
side.
talking? Yeah, I mean, Eagles are going to be good. I expect. I'll probably predict them to win the division, of course. Again, there's a lot, between now and actual worrying about it.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, you don't
Yep.
go to a Super Bowl. I know they lost. Here's the deal: you lost some depth, some serious depth. If you stay healthy, I'm not going to say the other word, then you're going to be fine. If you suffer any sort of, then it's going to be close. You're going to come back to the pack. You're going to come back to the Commanders. You're going to come back to the Cowboys because you can say whatever you want. And we'll get to the Cowboys in a minute, but Dallas, when healthy, when their starting quarterback's healthy, is in the mix. They always are. So anyway, I digress.
Yeah. So
David Lawrence, what's going on, brother? How are you? Welcome to the show.
So let's go ahead, man. The Cowboys, last but not least, the Dallas Cowboys. I know I'll go in there and you kind of give me your opinion on it. I know going into this offseason, we talked about many head coaches. I love a lot of the coaching staff that we picked. I think I ranted and raved about it, whether it's the offensive coordinator. That was the move that I was talking about before it ended up happening. I liked some of the moves that you did. There's not that big defensive tackle again. There's a guy in the draft, you're putting your hopes on something like that. But at the same time, there was nothing to make me feel great about that interior of the defensive line other than some good pass rushing defensive tackles. I love the outside, what we added. I can almost name in every position. I feel like we improved. We had a healthy team. Not all of them are going to be healthy going into that first week. Obviously, we talked about Diggs. We talked about Bland. Where are they going to be? Even Ravel, where he's running, where is he going to be? There's a lot of question mark. Overshown, where is he going to be? So as we gain these guys into the season, I really feel good about being able to at least get these depth, some playing time before some improved guys come into the role. And so I'm interested to see what this young team is going to be, especially with this coaching staff that really, when I've seen them in their past, whether it's been Arizona, whether it's been Bryan Schottenheimer with the Jets, or whether it's been Seattle, I've seen them do more with less talent. And so I'm interested to see what they can do with this talent. Again, it doesn't really, say, where we're going to be in that division. But I feel as a person that when I look at the roster, if people can stay healthy, if the offense can do their thing, defense can, look like a Matt Eberflus type of defense. I know we don't have all the pieces. You don't have everybody, but, you got to make best with what you have. Yes, I think we're capable of winning the division. Do I see it for sure? Well, it's going to be a very hard uphill thing. So, realistically, I feel we're second, third, or whatever. But yes, I feel that this roster is capable of being competitive. Now, again, they have to go out there and actually do it. And there's so many things that have to go right for this team. But it's not everything goes right if it's just talent that's doing everything. So it's going to be interesting. Let's see it,
Yeah. Again, we're so far away. I'm not prepared to say, like, numbers wise. I gave I gave 8, 9, 10, 11. That's where you're looking at. I think 11 would be
the Mac. Yeah.
Everything goes right.
Mm-hmm.
I think 8 is you don't lose your quarterback for the year. He may miss a few games. You end up with 8. I think more likely 9 or 10 is where the Dallas drops. Whether that's good enough to win, I don't even know. But what I do know is we are a better team this year than we were last year going in. Now you said, well, how do you say that? I know what we added. I know what certain players on our team was last year. Now, whether that's going to compute, like Jesse, whether that's going to compute on the win-loss column this year, I don't know. But I do know this. When Dak Prescott is healthy, they win in the regular season. That's a fact. We could all have our issues with the Cowboys in the playoffs, but when Dak is healthy, he puts wins upon wins upon wins. And people say, well, but his record against winning teams are not good. That's where the rubber meets the road, Phil, because they play a lot of winning teams from last year. So, but again, how that stat normally works is it's the year that we're talking about. That stat doesn't calculate the year prior. Right now, we're looking at last year's win-losses of our strength of schedule, but only a numbskull knows.
Well, I want to point out. I mean, when you're talking about the 11 max, everything, that doesn't mean everything's going perfectly. No, it means that if you look at the schedule, 6 games in a row that you're playing 11 plus team game, like you're playing 6 teams that had 11 plus wins last year. So I mean, that right there is something big, and so that's going to be tough no matter what type of team you put out there. And you got to be playing some really good football, coaching wise, where they're understanding the scheme and where they need to be. People aren't missing their assignments and stuff for that to really kind of push there. And I think that's a new system, and so that's a lot. I love the talent. I think they're capable of doing it. It's just I got to see it. I got to see these people not blowing assignments and just because they're very young. I think that's the part that I love. The talent, I love the potential. I just need to see them do it in the NFL because I've seen a lot of them do it in college, but I need to see them do it at NFL speed.
Rob has a good question. I mean, again, I don't really like arguing about 2 great players because I'm just going to be honest. Micah Parsons makes me cringe a little bit. That's just me. I love the player, but he's really these days
frustrating
he's
at times.
Cringeworthy. He's very cringeworthy. Just like he's cringe, man. I'm sorry. That's the word that comes to mind when I think of him. But Rob brings up a good question here, and I don't know that I agree with Rob. I think knowing what we know now, I think the positional value, Rob, is what's probably going to get you. Micah versus Jalen Carter. Who in? And I would say Phil's objective. I really would say he's more objective.
I really don't get me wrong. Okay,
GM, if you were one of 32, right, and you're starting a franchise, who would you go with? Jalen Carter or Micah? Be honest. I don't know where you're going with this. I'm looking at the chat and reacting.
Well, I can give positives on both. Like when I look at Parsons,
both great players.
Yeah, when Parsons, I mean, you got to. He's just playing out of position. Let's be real, man. He's having to play a defensive end position when he really should be playing outside that spot just a little bit and playing that outside linebacker position, and that would help him in so many things. I mean, yeah, you'd kind of be taking on a lot, but again, that tackle would have to slide out a lot more. So he's playing out of position. When you're talking, and there was teams passing him in that draft. Giants said they were going to take him. They didn't end up taking him. To me, I think Jalen Carter is just definitely a difference maker. I think he helps with the run game. He gets disruptive. He at least gets some pressure here and there. I think what makes Parsons average in that sense is not average. It's the fact that he does not get calls. Let's be real. There's so many times you're grabbing and pulling, yanking, and people are holding him, and he's not getting those calls. That's the truth. Whether you want to take it away, that's an opinionated. No, there is very big truth. There's very large truth. Pictures and everything that show that happens. That's part of the game. Yes, I get that, but it's very, very big. You cannot tell me that's not a strategy going into it. Now, obviously, I think the holding happens, don't get me wrong, interior as well, when you get a big guy like Carter. But if I had to pick one, unfortunately, I would have to put Carter on my team first before I put Parsons, just because,
There you go, Rob. I told you I would go the opposite way and not pick nothing to do with Jalen Carter. I love Jalen Carter, but again, I'm not sure. I think he had 4.5 sacks last year.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the defensive tackle position is just not something where it's supposed to be flashy.
But he's playing I'm just saying, I love Jalen Carter, but I don't think. Again, I think it's easier to find a Jalen Carter, and maybe I'm wrong, than to find a Micah. And I know see like Rob, and listen, we could agree to disagree, brother. It's close. It's not. Like
I still think I don't.
Oh my God, I understand why Eagles fans don't like Micah. But again, Mike is a ultra talented guy, and most defensive ends don't play the run. Again, that's a misnomer. Most defensive ends Not
Dude,
everybody's a
okay,
Miles Garrett.
Ultra. This is me as a quarterback. Who do I fear more? Stepping up into the pocket into a Jalen Carter, or
There you go.
stepping up
Get
into
him,
the
Ultra.
pocket and
Get him.
stepping up in the parts? Yeah, there's plenty of times where he's gone around and been neutralized, or you run towards him and you can't run towards Jalen Carter. It's not one of those type of things. And I mean, he can be pushed around. Don't be wrong. I'm not
Jimbo loves you.
putting it that
Eagle
way.
fans are
Of course.
loving you, brother.
Of course, it disgusts me to say it too. Parsons would kick my ass, and I don't,
He's
and I wouldn't
getting
blame. I wouldn't
He'll
blame
get
him.
Upset.
I'm getting upset with me. Don't get me wrong. I'm just like I'm
What are
getting-
you doing?
What am I
I'm
doing?
sorry.
But it's the truth. I mean, it's
doing nothing.
I can find another Parsons. I can find I can find a pass rusher.
I teed it up high for him and he fucking flubbed it.
Yeah, I did. I was like, don't come on here thinking I'm going to be a homer. I'm not going to be always a homer. I love Parsons. I think he makes our defense. You take him out of our defense isn't that great, if you don't have that guy, so he needs to be in this defense. So,
Yeah, I agree with you.
I think he's perfect for us. It's just that
I
off the
like
field
Monte.
crap,
I just think he's a little cringy.
Yeah.
Well, I ain't gonna lie. When I was watching that the other day, when I was watching CD and Micah and Osa, and I don't care how Osa did. I'll ride with Osa out of that group. I mean, I love the guys, but this is what I always used to tell everybody. Don't I don't always want to hang out with my team, like the team that I root for.
Yeah.
I probably would rather hang out with Osa than the other guys. And I'm just saying that. That was a little weird to me. That but
Can I also say something for the record? We have one of the most boringest social media teams as a Dallas Cowboy. Can the schedule release who is right in this crap? Who makes this stuff up? Are we 80-something years old? That's the social media team? Have you seen these schedule releases? When the schedule releases, there's always this funny thing. Oh, this team did Minecraft, and this team did Legos, and, there was always something. They did some kind of, boring golf tournament crap kind of thing, and I'm
yeah, the Colts. Yeah, that was...
What is this? Come on, guys. This is the
And
cringy
I'm
part
with
that we're
Randy,
talking
by
about.
the way, in the chat. I'm with Randy. I don't know who compared Jalen Carter to Jerome Brown. Don't let the Super Bowl mix your brain up. Jerome Brown was one of one, people. He was one of one. There's not many guys that are on the level of Jerome Brown. I put Jerome Brown up there with Reggie White. His life was cut way too short. And please don't go Jalen Carter, Jerome Brown. Don't take team success and anoint a young player. That's false, man. Jerome Brown was a beast. He was no 4.5 sack guy who was a beast stopping the run. So please.
But why do you think that is, Ultra?
That's not close.
He never recorded a sack in his playoffs. Is it because everybody everybody else's sacks numbers went up because they were double team and triple team him? LT.
Yeah. Again, I use my eyes.
Sack in the Super Bowl.
Use the eye test. Jerome Brown was a difference maker. Jerome Brown, that defense. Sorry, Eagle fans, if Buddy Ryan was any sort of coach, you would have won multiple Super Bowls. But Buddy Ryan was a buffoon as far as a football coach. Again, he was a good defensive coordinator until the offense was able to adjust, and then he had nothing. He had that 46 defense got burned time and time again in crucial spots. He did not show the ability to flex. Rob Bay, Primetime is a man, keeping it, not JP, but he is young. JC is not JB. Oh, okay, yeah. Jalen Carter is not Jerome Brown. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you very much, Rob. Thank you.
Insert cash or select payment type.
Sonic boom!
Rob, you coming to Vegas to hang out with us or what? Come on. Get away from the wife for a couple.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate
very,
that.
very much.
Rob A definitely knows his thing, and I think he can definitely atone when things go bad. I haven't been around him. He's living the success. That's when I've known him. Is so far during this Eagle success is more recent.
Listen, I'm happy for guys like Rob. He's a class act. Am I happy for guys like Hamid? No, I'm not, because he's a cave dwelling fool who only comes out when things are good.
Yep.
But I'm happy for Rob.
I think if
Anyway,
you put
I'm
a
sorry,
good
I just had to get
defensive,
that
if you
in.
could put a nice big defensive tackle with Parson, I think he would be amazing. I just think he's a linebacker that rushes, and we're not using him correctly. I think, when Dan Quinn was here, he would just, you could neutralize him because you kind of predict where he was going to be in that line. When they stuck him over the center, he had a little bit more. He had a lot more success, like a middle linebacker, where you find the gap, you pursue into the gap. That's a middle linebacker, and the fact that he has to play defensive end against huge 300+ dudes that got some power, like, let's be real, he's able to do stuff. The pressure, his stats alone tell you that he's awesome, and that's why I think I'm not batting an eye when they pay him. It's the off the field podcast, all that kind of stuff that we always talk about.
I don't care about the podcast anymore, Phil. I don't know what I don't.
Well,
like
because of the
anymore.
leadership, it's changing a little bit. You can't say it isn't. I mean,
I gotta watch what I say here.
well, I mean, even when I look at,
It just seems like he's. I don't know, man.
You're doing a podcast during the draft. Oh yeah, he definitely is. He's definitely very defensive. But when
Sorry, man, I can't roll with that. What's up, Drew? Drew knows what I'm saying. He sent me the video. I'll have to send it to you, Phil. That video was disturbing, to say the least, of his uncle talking. He literally knows nothing.
Oh, he gets very offended by stuff, and he jumps
I'm sorry,
off on people.
man. It's ridiculous. But anyway, Marcus Blackman, what's up, brother? They all have podcasts nowadays. It's a new day and time.
Everybody has a
I'd
gimmick.
rather him be in the podcast studio than running and gunning.
Yeah, I mean, he isn't. It's the
fine
part.
with it.
It's the part that those reactions mean something. Like, let's be real. Like, it wasn't the best reaction when they picked Tyler Booker, because it's like us. We want particular guys. We think certain guys maybe fit a wide receiver, those kind of things. They don't know the move of the franchise. So when he's sitting there, like, he understands the move. He's like me. I understand the move. I understand why we're going in that direction and stuff like that. But it's not the flashiest, so his reaction isn't the most positive. So that's not always the best thing. Do you trust Cowboy to sign Mike? I don't trust Cowboy to do anything. I trust Jerry more than
it'll get
Cowboy.
done.
I think it will get done, but
It'll get done. But Ultra, you're right. Me and Mark have gone back and forth. Listen, I love what the Cowboys have done. I'm laying low, and trust
I do
me,
too. I love the.
I am laying low because I know what the potential is of what they've done so far. But I'm not about to go and stand up
Shout it from the
and
rooftop?
speak
Yeah.
on it right now. No. I need to get through this OTAs and training camp, because we've had nothing but bad luck. I will wait till the start of the season.
Well, I mean,
I don't. Yeah,
I
go
was
ahead.
going to say, there's a reason why we talk not Super Bowl is because, yes, we love Jadon Blue. Boom, that's a great home run kind of hitter that we can replace for Pollard. Now that we miss Pollard, that kind of replaces that. Phil Maffa, okay, question marks and everything, whether it's the more
Big
power
time.
runner. But I would like a more polished power runner. But anybody can come into the NFL and do their thing. But if you're going to tell me that everything improves because of this, I do like the fact that they at least got something in the draft, two of them, to at least compete. I mean, let's be real. I mean, we don't want to go in there just assuming.
Well, that's a good transition, Phil. That's a good transition, because I want to ask ex-quarterback, I want to ask you the question, because I don't believe it, right? And I said this as much when we drafted Tyler Booker. You draft Tyler Booker, you draft Jadon Blue. I get it, Drew. He's not a 3-down back. Again, there's not many Saquons. All of a sudden you get a Saquon, and he's 3-down back. Not many teams have that guy. Most teams don't run that system. I don't want a 3-down guy, because all that does is pump up stats and
wear the body down,
more
and you're not a mid.
injuries.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want that. But my thing to you is, are they really going to run the ball like they say? I don't buy it. In my opinion, Phil, I think they're going to run the ball to throw the ball downtown. I don't know if you saw my video the other day. I was proud after I did it, because after watching it back, I'm like, man, I really said a lot of things that are true as far as what George Pickens is going to do for this offense that they have not had. And I just let me quickly say, Last year and a year prior is McCarthy was running all that shit, Phil. All that stuff that was comebacks, bringing everybody back close to the box.
Everything was in the line of scrimmage.
Yeah,
Yes,
it was a
sucks.
natural flow for a corner to make a tackle, right? It was
Everything's in front of him.
Natural flow for a linebacker to flow. Basically, everything was 5 yards over the line of scrimmage, and trying to hit him on the run did not help the running game at all, right? So what's going to happen now with George Pickens running the go route, which is he's the number one in the league running the go route with yards per catch at 17.6, running the post route, running the dig route, and running the out route. Those are Dak's 4 best passes.
So I'm going to give you my positives and my negatives, okay? Because as a
All
Cowboy
right,
fan, I
here we
give
go.
you my
I'm
positive
curious
and my
for the
negatives.
negative.
Okay, so I'm going to give you my negative first because I feel very positive about this. So I'm going to give you the negative first. Where was Brandon Cooks? Mr. I would hit 1,000 yards every single season for every single team that I played for, except for the Cowboys. They didn't utilize him correctly.
They didn't. That's why I'm asking you. What do you think they're going to do?
I think so when I say that, that's the negative. But I don't think that coaching staff is like that. I don't think Schottenheimer is like that. I know he knows the positive, he knows the negatives and stuff like that. He's got, to me, the football mind is more not the analytics. The analytics, you haven't heard one damn thing about analytics and stuff like that. You're talking about coaches talking football together, and that's what they're coming up with, solutions and stuff. That's what I want from my coaching staff. Solutions. So
I'm excited, Phil. I'm containing my excitement. I'm very excited.
No, tell me.
Well,
Tell me.
I just mean I'm very, very happy that I didn't know this Brian Schottenheimer. I didn't know this guy. And you say, well, what don't you know? Well, once you dig into the history of Brian Schottenheimer, and don't just look at, well, he's never been a head coach. No, he's taken Mark Sanchez as the offensive coordinator, calling the plays to an AFC championship twice. Again, Brian Schottenheimer has a lot to prove. Yes, he is a question mark. But if I'm betting on anybody, I'm betting on a guy like him. And am I able to say he's going to go to Super Bowl and win the division? I'm not saying that. Hell no. But I could be excited as a Cowboy fan about my head coach, and I am. I think we dodged a bullet by not getting the damn circus that was Deion Sanders. And you saw what that circus did to his poor son, Shedeur Sanders. Make no mistake, what happened to Shedeur was because of Deion couldn't keep his mouth shut. Sorry, that's my opinion, and I'm going to stand on it. So Deion hurt his son. Sorry, I would be embarrassed if I was him, coming out and saying we don't want to play here, we don't want to play there. The rumors behind the scenes. Again, it was a shit show, and Shedeur has a lot to prove, but I think Shedeur will be better off for it rather than being the number 2 overall.
I feel like Shedeur is going to be good on his second or third team. I think it's going to be one of those type of things. Right now, he's kind of falling in behind with Dylan Gabriel. And you kind of hear about it, but I think he needs people to kind of like leave him alone and allow him to kind of mature and not to say that he will mature, but Lord forbid that the spotlight get off of him for a little bit, because that's what he needs. He needs to kind of sit there in the dark, kind of reading over the plays, kind of trying to figure it out, whether it's trying to figure out football and how to read coverages and everything, and really kind of bring it when he gets the opportunity. So I think that more, we all know Cleveland is kind of one of those where quarterbacks kind of go to die. Detroit used to be that, a little bit different now. You can definitely see success there. But it's hard for me to say that he'll have NFL success. It's hard for me. I don't see the level of talent there. I think he's a talented athlete, but I don't know about talented quarterback. So, anyways, I don't know what conversation we were on. We were on something about the off.
Well, we were talking about Cowboys, but again, I just wanted to get to the chat, and we'll just organically go from here.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Kool-Aid. What's up, Kool-Aid? Welcome to the show, brother. I love new names.
Yeah,
I don't know how you stumbled on us. I always tell Phil, please send me the pictures so I could tweet it out, because on Twitter/X they don't include the picture, so nobody wants to hop on a link with no picture. But thank you, Kool-Aid. What's up, brother? We got Kid Cowboy. What's up, brother? I don't know, Phil. Where I'm at right now is I'm excited about my team. I feel like I'm with you. I feel like I'm a Nick Chubb away from being real excited. No
point intended.
pun intended. I was gonna say it, but I'll just say no pun intended. Again, sorry, I got a dog I'm watching. It's freaking out. I kind of think that they're gonna give Miles Sanders a shot, and I think anybody who thinks he's a shot fighter doesn't really know. You got to remember he was with the Carolina Panthers. Give him a shot. But I know Mark Hutchinson, who I don't see in the chat, is not a fan of Deuce Vaughn, but I want to see Deuce Vaughn behind this interior offensive line, behind this offensive line coach who was his coach in college. I think Deuce Vaughn is here.
Well, the fact that when you get a handoff and the defense is already in your face, are you really being able to judge a running back off of that? I mean, that's he didn't make a move or whatever. But if he's consistently like he doesn't have any room to actually start going before he's already being tackled. And so I think when he's had that room, he's been able to when somebody finally kind of starts to tackle him, he's even able to fall forward. I think that's what's amazing. I love running backs that do that. So yeah, I'm with you. I would love to see that. I think you carry 4 running backs going into the season. And depending on how Phil Maffa does, I think, he could be definitely in the mix there of 1-2 punch with Jadon Blue, at least for that first year. And seeing who else, is Javonte, is Williams,
CZ?
is he your main running back? And then everybody, because, to me, I think Williams brings this element of receiving out of the back that the other ones do too, but I think he does it very special.
Special. No, I think especially works. Again, Drew, Miles Sanders to me is nowhere near a 3-down back. So we'll disagree there. I don't want a 3-down back. Dallas, I will say, you're right. Dallas doesn't have a 3-down back, and so does 90% of the NFL. Nobody runs that 3-down back system too much anymore. It's a running back by committee, unless you get a special back like a Saquon. So
Barkley,
again,
Gibbs, there's many running backs there that are
enjoy Saquon. Jesse Miles Sanders sucks. Yeah, as he's gonna bust a 50-yard touchdown on that team of yours, buddy. I don't know what he is. I don't know if he's gonna make the team. Miles Sanders didn't suck before last year, but everybody sucked with the Panthers the last 2 years. But I'm on record as saying I think Miles Sanders might be the odd guy out if I had to pick one now. Jadon Blue is the real deal. He's not a 3-down guy. He's 5'11 and a half and basically 200 pounds. Jadon Blue runs a 4.28 40. You better get him at the line of scrimmage because if he squares his hips, he gone. So again, I like where we're going. Everybody's forgetting about Hunter Lepke, who came from a college scheme where he runs in a single back. He was a single back, way deep. So he's not a fullback.
Yeah.
He's playing H-back for the Cowboys, but Hunter Lepke, I believe, could be what everybody wants him to be.
So,
and I'm just saying. But
when I look
want to go get a Chubb.
When I look at 2 of the positions, I think I look at 2 of them where we didn't improve, or one of them where we may have gotten worse. What do you think of one of the positions that I would be thinking of that where we didn't change, nothing happened, it's just we're same kind of going into it, and we're hoping that maybe somebody has a bounce back year?
Yeah. What was the question? Sorry.
No, I'm just saying, to me, there's 2 positions in this where I feel like this team either didn't get better or got a little worse. And I can give you the worst. The worst still has potential.
What's the worst?
Okay. So where we got worse, I think, is at quarterback, but with the possibility of being better at quarterback. Because now hold on. This is what I'm going to say. I don't think in the sense that it's a worse quarterback. He's just terrible and everything like that. If you were to go in right now with winning a game, you need to win this game. You don't have your starting quarterback, Cooper Rush, going in there. You have a chance to win that. But now going in there with Joe Milton, you think that we are better with that?
Yes.
See, I don't think so. I think he still. I still think he has potential and he'll be better. But I still don't think he's. No,
because I just don't buy it. Not not by the Cooper Rush that we saw.
Well, no. Don't get me wrong. Yes, that Cooper Rush we saw in Philly, that shit was just bad.
I mean, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
The best Cooper Rush, yes. But
The
that
better
best
Cooper Rush
was not ready to play against the Eagles.
Dude, well, that last year was that was bad.
That was the first game. We expected him to be able to come in. I believe that was the first game without Dak that we went to, and he totally shit the bed. I don't know if it was the first game, but
I look at Milton. I love Milton. I think he's a great potential. I think he's better than Trey. And that's what I'm going to say. He's better. At least he can run the ball if things aren't happening for him. But there's some accuracy stuff there that I worry about. And don't get me wrong, Cooper Rush with that same crap. There was some really bad, terrible throws in that year. But I'm just thinking in the sense of, who's your third, compared to, Trey Lance, Greg. Will Grier is better than Trey Lance. Yes, I would say that, So it's just, I feel like we got a little bit worse, but it's not because I think we're with the potential of being better in the long run. Okay, so that's why I say I don't think we're bad. Don't get me wrong, guys. We're going to be better in the long run in the position.
Jesse Martinez. I'm on the Milton bandwagon.
Now,
yes, I am.
Now, a position I think we didn't do anything. Of course, you got to say is tight end. I mean, we didn't get anything. We haven't added anything. We got people coming back and got, Jake Ferguson. I think the addition of Pickens will help guys like Schoonmaker, where you don't have to step up and necessarily be that person. You're going to kind of be forgotten a little bit, and now you have the ability to step up and become a really good tight end. So, I think you have potential, even though you didn't improve.
I would tell you that tight end is a strength for our football team. Not that I would not look, again, I made a statement a while back saying, if you want to go get me somebody, this is before we got Pickens, go make a move for like a Kyle Pitts type of guy. Now, Kyle Pitts is underachieved, monumental.
I roll my eyes,
so he has monumentally.
Oh no, we suck again.
But we are very deep at tight end. Again, we do have a Luke Schoonmaker who I am high on. Okay, who played better last year than the year before. Jake Ferguson in a contract year. Okay, with George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb on the outside, assuming everything.
I like it.
I mean, I don't want to think negative. Let's assume.
No. I think I really like the room. Yeah.
Just go ahead and make sure you draft Jake Ferguson in your fantasy.
And you got two other guys. Let's be real. Let's be real.
Because you have a big year.
Yeah, you got Jake Ferguson. You got Schoonmaker that could possibly leave. But you got Spanford. That's always the possibility. You got Joe Thomas. What's the guy? What's the other guy? The guy that keeps getting injured. Thomas Stevens. Joe Stevens. Something like that. I can't. Something like that. I'm going to go through a bunch of names and I'll eventually get them. John Stevens. There it is. Like Joe Stevens. Yeah, I was like. It's going to be rare because eventually he flashes in the beginning and then he disappears for the rest of the season. So, excuse me that I don't remember his name for.
There's a lot to be said for that, Ultra. Again, I got to see the Cowboys win not one, not two, but three Super Bowls.
That's how Ultra knew to get it.
Prime. I didn't. I wasn't menopausal when I got to saw my Super Bowl.
He knew that's how I'm going to put it on the broadcast there. Touche.
It's all fun. We're just playing. Touche. Calm down. Brevin Spanford, big boy.
Yeah.
Raw player coming out last year. I think he'll
I say there's a good 5 tight ends on this team that can really go. So I don't think you needed to go and improve, but I want them to step up.
Now that I'm thinking of tight end, look for the Eagles to make a move because the Eagles are like paper thin in tight end. Yeah. They're going to need a tight end. So look for the Eagles to pick up a tight end or two at after June 1st. Yeah, just a little Eagle content for the peeps in the house. I think Eagles will pick up at least a tight end, or even maybe trade for one. Dallas Goedert, he extended, but he's only here for one more year.
So if you had to pick, now you got to pick one more move that Dallas does before the beginning of training camp, because they talked about one move. Yeah, what is it? Who's it going to be? I can pick a guy who I think it would be.
Well, now you go ahead. I know you know that I know that I know.
I don't know if we have the same person. That necessarily means anything. So when I look at our team, I think the only one that you really have to kind of go for is that defensive tackle position. Who are you going to put in there? You got some good ones. I love the rotation you got here. Solomon, Osa Digizua. I do like those guys. Some potential that you have in there with Jay. I got to look at the last name as well too, because I want to make sure I get in that correctly.
It's Toy, T-O,
To-
like
Toy.
T-O-Y, but it's not. It's Toy and then Ia. Toya.
Toya.
J Toya.
Toya. Okay, I'll try to remember that. Toya.
I got you, Randy. Tight end Fairweather from Auburn. I got.
There it is, Randy, with the drop, because I couldn't think of who he was
Coming
talking
to
about.
Vegas, Randy? Did you lock your room up, brother?
Now I forgot what I was going to talk about, and you threw it in there.
No, you were talking about the one position.
Okay, so defense tackle. So I think it will be with Detroit. I think Detroit got a lot of value in the draft. So if I had to pick somebody, I would say DJ Reader will be a trade with Detroit, because Detroit's got a little bit more on the defensive line, and they could probably be trying to move something before June 1st, and that could be possibly it.
I don't know that it's a trade unless it's a player for player. I just don't see us doing much with him. If he's released, then that would be good. Maybe I would give a 5th round comp pick for him. DJ Reader. I liked him coming out when he was with Cincinnati last year. I do agree with you. There's probably one more body headed our way, but I think if I had to pick a position that will be added, definitely I think both of them will be. But I would say corner, veteran corner, probably a Stephon Gilmore. They already did the leg work. See how again, Mark Hutchinson, he's not in the chat, but they did bring Gilmore in not to clean out his locker. They brought him in to see where he was.
Like a year late. Yeah, you never picked up anything a year ago.
Just remember, everybody, it was before the draft. Now, they went out and got a Siobhan Ravel, who will probably be ready for the start of training camp. They're going to want to see a little bit. They're going to want to see voluntary OTAs. They're going to want to see all that. But look to have another veteran corner brought in, and look for a Stephon Gilmore like either him or somebody like him, just to
Marcus Sayers, well. Just a health wise.
Just to hold the fort until Trayvon Diggs, who is now doing lateral movement after the microfracture surgery. And
that's what I worry about with those first couple of games. Is Overshone's going to be out. Diggs, all
Marcus.
These guys are going to possibly be out. So, I mean, I love the possibility once they all start kind of playing together, even the rotation, if somebody's out, stepping up for each other, because I feel better about that roster compared to last year. We started putting stuff in, but we found guys like Joe Butler from the USFL, USFL at the time, but now UFL. But we've gotten a lot of talent. Where you talk about our kicker, you're talking about Turpin, and you talk about Butler there. I think that's just another resources that you could probably do, because right now they're playing like crazy. So obviously I've only been watching some of those other little small games. I haven't been watching all of it, so I couldn't tell you what stars they have out there. But with the schedule coming out, man, I think all NFC East teams can really agree that it's going to be a hell of a year. We play a really tough division, and all those teams got better. Some of them, you could in some way talk about how each team possibly got worse in that division, just because they were maybe either pigeonholed or they're picking at the back of the draft, or they're having to deal with other stuff. I think those are winnable games, but it just going to depends. When do you play them? Do you play them after bye weeks? There's so many things come into the schedule. How are you feeling about the Cowboys' schedule in general? I know we talked about in the sense of we're not talking numbers or anything, but how do you feel reflecting and looking at where everything sits, bye weeks, all that kind of all that?
Yeah, I'm going to pull it up while I do. Pin that message I just put onto the top so everybody knows what game we're going to and where to book their rooms. Dallas schedule. Let's be honest. It's a brutal schedule. I'm not prepared to do wins and losses, so we're going to start out at it. We go into the belly of the beast week 1, okay? At the Philadelphia Eagles. Banner night. That's a tough place to play, let alone in that situation. So, but then we get to come home against the New York Football Giants. Sorry, Jesse. That's a welcomed opponent. Although it's a new invigorated Giants, but will they be ready to beat us week 2? I hope not. Week 3 at the Bears. I'd rather play the Bears, Phil. I'd rather play them early in the year. on the road. It's going to be warm. But anyway, Ultra Cowboy says, Micah makes Rob A. moist. Wet dreams, Micah. There you go. Thank you for the super chat.
He knows how to get it up there, you know. Like,
yeah, come on. He's like, I'm going to be heard tonight, baby. Week 4 at home against the Green Bay Packers. Sunday Night Football. I think it was Jim. I don't think it was Jimbo. I think it was Jimmy. Jimmy said he only counted 6 primetime games. No, Dallas has 4 Thursday night games. Dallas has 2 Sunday night and 2 Monday night. We have 8 standalone games, not counting the game of the weeks that Fox will have. Yeah, so again, Dallas, you'll see all but probably a couple of weeks on national television.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. We can suck ass and get pushed out of them later, but
again, yeah, I mean, yeah, this is true. But looking at the schedule, then it lightens up at the Jets, at the Panthers. That's a bit of a break. Home against the Commandos.
Oh, no man, I was watching this clip on Instagram little reels. Sorry. And it had her as soon as you said talk about the Panthers, because they were talking about McMillan going to the Panthers, and it's like, why'd you go there? You already drafted another big receiver, and the joke was real quickly pushed out. It was like, well, we have to because that's the only way Bryce Young sees them going down the field with that offensive line. I was like, oh my goodness, like yeah, you could probably have some truth there, but it was just funny. Like, continue on though.
No, yeah, basically. So we need to get off to a decent start.
We do.
We cannot get into a hole. We could go 2-2 in the first 4. That would be great. But
it's after that bye week, man.
Woo! Yeah, we need to get to the bye week. I got the bye week that I wanted, which is week 10. I got it. So I ask, I receive. I got an away game to start. I got an away game to end. You say, well, why would you want that? Because I never want a home game week 1. I want them home games in the meat of the schedule. Week 1 is like a party for everybody, and usually you're not necessarily ready to play football, or I'd rather play it on the road. So the fact that it's Philly, okay, that makes it that much harder, but that's fine. And let's face it, Phil, most of the time, the last game of the year, either you're out of it or you've locked it up. Very few times is it for really anything meaningful. So I'm good to play on the road the last game of the year. So I like the schedule. Is it hard? Yep, it is. You're going to either sink or swim. And we're going to find out a lot this year with the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, even, the coaching staff, I just like that it was a different approach than that whole, like, well, we're going to, still when they talked about Steven, and he goes, oh, are you still looking into, player acquisition is a 365-day-a-year job. No, it isn't, man. Don't give me that crap. You're not scouting these guys. If you're the scouting department, then yeah, that part itself. Are you really picking guys up between week 11 and week 18? I'm just curious where he's getting this approach. Yeah, I mean, practice squads and I guess, but he just never really had that approach. I mean, yeah, it might be that job, but you've been lazy for like 360 days of it. So to me, yeah, that's that's not delusion, but I would say Stephen Jones at times can be, but then sometimes he spits out some nice gold nuggets, and just the fact that he is saying that they're still looking and still being aggressive in that sense, I think that says something, because he's usually the first one to tell you that I ain't doing shit, like. It's like, what are you doing? I ain't doing anything. I'm just looking sunsets and everything. It's just nice, we have very nice sunsets, so.
Why was Fowler let go? He was not let go. He was out of contract.
He was out of contract.
He was not let go.
Yeah, and then they
the free agent.
Yep, and he definitely wanted to stick it back to that team as well too. So
we'll see. Yeah, I'll take the 11.5 sacks.
I would definitely take it. Yeah, that's, to me, that replaces that missing piece of Armstrong that was bringing in. Yeah, 8 to 10 sacks. Yeah, for them, yes, I would definitely say.
Listen, he was a good player, but again, I think he had 6 sacks or something for the money he got. It didn't pay off. Sorry, Commando fans. Dorrance Armstrong is who we thought he was.
Well, I mean, and it's always the type of production and everything that you get upset about. I mean, if you really look at it, I mean, again, us being where we're at, are we all pissed off at Chauncey Golston for going over to the Giants. I mean, if he was a 16, 20 sack guy, I'm pretty sure we'd be all pissed about him and tell him to go F himself. Right. But in that sense, that tends to be a lot of the Cowboy Nation in the way that they do it, is they tend to get extremely angry, but especially if you go to the NFC rival. But, you know, I think that has to say a lot. I mean, if you're very, very productive, then that's usually when they really like to try to bash it a little bit more. So I'm interested because when we looked at that number 2, you know, my possibilities was not Pickens. Don't get me wrong. I know the negatives that come with him, but it definitely wasn't
Nothing
a
is
possibility.
related though with Pickens.
No.
And it's not locker room related. It's immaturity. There are guys being drafted this year, Phil, that are older than George Pickens. George Pickens, you can say whatever you want. He's going to have a hell of a year this year. Bank on it. He's going to make his money. He's going to be. It's a good luck. You know, all the shit talking that's happening by all the other teams, it's going to have to be answered at some point, and we'll be here to watch it because I think that he's in for a big time year. Can't double everybody. So what are you gonna double George Pickens and not double CD? Okay, good luck with that. So
Especially with the motions and stuff like that. I think that's what Schottenheimer does bring in is a lot of motions into his offense. So again, not having to get vetoed by a particular person. That's why we were kind of on that fence where we want to. I don't really care if McCarthy comes back. If he does, he has to change some stuff. And we all kind of knew that. I loved the victories that he brought. He brought a different kind of culture. But you know, when you look at a lot of what Schottenheimer's doing and running it, I'm not saying the way that he talks is because, you know, taking shots on the golf course is pretty awesome, and calling it a shot is even better. I think that is just totally awesome. But I see a lot of Jason Garrett type of stuff through the philosophy. Oh, you know, we want locker room guys, culture guys, and stuff like that. So there's a lot of that, but with his own mix, you know, a little bit of hard knocks Jason Garrett's where he's not afraid to cuss, and I call out some people. And I think that's what I love about my coach is just call out some people. Be some Rex Ryan, you know. Don't be afraid to talk some shit.
Yeah. Absolutely. We got a lively chat tonight.
Yeah, they do. Oh, yeah. You got some nice back and forth. It just had me and some of the stuff that
Bob and Ulster are in for a steel cage match. Again,
celebrity
it's
match,
always fun
death
when
match.
You could be,
let's get it on.
You know, going at it in May.
Yep.
I love it.
Yep, that means there's some stuff to there. You know, if we don't make any of those moves, oh my god.
Oh my god.
I don't want to keep putting these on there. You know, like
well, you have to read it.
Yeah, I have to. Like, Robbie, next time I will tell Micah to pull out.
But
my God.
Yeah, now you can't leave.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, game time. That Jimmy was me, and I still counted 6 prime to 8 o'clock games. But okay, Jimbo. Yeah, I thought it was you. Yeah, we got 4 Thursday night games. 2 Sunday and 2 Monday. So that's 8. I didn't know if you were talking Eagles or Cowboys.
Oh my goodness, man. Yeah, definitely a lively chat. I've been watching it as we've been talking and stuff, and as you've been talking, it's just some of it's been making me laugh, just some of the back and forth, and yeah. So anyways, so as I went in here, I mean, we really didn't have much to talk about.
What plans you got with your girl tonight? You going out to dinner?
Yeah, so we have. I don't want to. If she's listening, I don't want to ruin stuff, you know. So you're gonna blast it out there.
Okay. Yeah, she's not listening.
Oh, here we go, Robbie. He comes with the. You should tell Micah to pull out unless you like his nuts all in your tonsils.
God damn, Rob.
Damn.
These guys are all fired up. Rob's like, I ain't gonna be there.
Oh my goodness, this is definitely lively when you. Wow, guys. I don't even know what to say or what subject to go on that one, especially tonsils and nuts and. But one thing that's not nuts is having faith in your team, right? That's a hell of a transition.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, broadcast 919 chats. Oh yes.
Phil's getting a booty call, Jesse Montanez.
No Diddy.
Yeah, most likely. It's just, you know. Most likely. Ultra's broke ass 199 chat. Come on, Rob.
Better than a freak off. Yeah, I'd probably definitely agree on that one. So the next couple of weeks, man, this is how it's gonna be. We have to, unless some trades happen, some news just happens in the NFL. I mean, when's the next training? When's training camp happen? Do we know?
The
It's
end
like
of July.
June.
That's
Oh,
usually
in it.
July
Oh
27th.
God, I
or
was thinking
something.
for some reason it was in June sometime.
What? Listen, we're gonna be doing stuff like tomorrow. I'll be doing a live stream, so stay tuned. Make sure you have your bell notifications on. It could be in the morning, it could be later in the afternoon, but we'll definitely be doing a live stream. Maybe I'll do one in the morning. I've been doing them on Sunday with some good attendance. So maybe. What's up, Az man? How you been, brother? Where you been? But yeah, so
what's the beverage night?
So we're gonna just chill out tonight, and we had some tornadoes roll through here yesterday. One was just I don't know if I told you, Phil. We were spotty.
Yes, I saw your
good that
video.
we
You're
didn't
talking
do a
about
show last night. Literally 3 blocks over, my son was coming in the house, looked over the trees, and saw the funnel. It was a category 0. It was about 90-mile-an-hour winds, but still, we had fire trucks. There's power still out on the other side of the main road here. We were in and out with power, so it was good that we didn't do a show last night. But man, it's scary. I've never. Even Jimbo lives close to me. It's something that I haven't experienced. I know we've always had the warnings, but pretty darn scary. I was at work, so I was kind of panicking for my family here when it actually hit. Rob A, didn't Mike bruise your palate? Okay.
Bam, shots
We
fired.
can sit here all day,
Yeah,
tit for tat.
You're like,
Is Wayne Brady gonna have to choke a bitch?
yeah, it's like- I mean, you can go into so many different things, but I think with this team and how it's gone, it's definitely improved. It isn't last year's Cowboys in the sense, at least a healthier team is definitely improving that roster. The depth behind it is improving because of some of these moves that you made, and just at least the run game. I think that's an improvement that we needed. We needed that offense to kind of be balanced a little bit more compared to being one-sided. I mean, they were still very. Obviously it's Cooper Rush and Trey Lance leading the way, but there were still people balling. There were still some people trying to get into the playoffs, and I love that type of attitude when we're us as Cowboy fans. We kind of were probably out by the halfway through the season, but with them, it's good to see the heart that they had kind of going into that. But Brian, anything you want to talk about before we get out of here?
By the way, Woke loves to drop, and by the way, it was a double rum and Coke. So that's what it was, ass man. It was a double rum and Coke.
Ooh,
So
nice
that's
double
what
rum. I like
in
it.
honor of Primetime Phil. So Rob, I'm not reading.
Cuba Libre. Oh, I know.
Cuba
man.
Libre. Yeah. So, but anyway, yeah, man. Stay tuned for tomorrow. We'll do a channel member. We'll do something in the morning, or probably, most likely. I got to open my pool tomorrow, so I got that going for me. It's going to be good weather. So I have a busy day around the house, but looking forward to getting back on a regular schedule. We got to force ourselves to do it, whether it's a Friday night, whether it's a Saturday, whether it's a Sunday afternoon. We got to do it. So, but I'm gonna go here. It's my son's 21st, my youngest's 21st birthday. So
Arturo,
we're gonna
love it.
sing happy birthday. I'm actually gonna eat dinner. I won't be eating cake because I haven't eaten yet. And then we're gonna go
Everybody's
from there.
eating in front of him, just watching him there at the edge of his desk, just chewing.
Well, they ate when they're waiting for me, so we're gonna, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what they're pointing out. Some of these backup quarterbacks where Trey Lance is over at the Chargers. Definitely a lot less pressure for him to kind of develop more. Doesn't mean that he'll be anything. If he does come in and is successful, can't jump too far into that. Golly, you guys, you too. Oh, another broke ass 99 super chat. No ultra, but I heard you popped ultra overs. This back and forth. All right, ultra.
Over super chat.
Yeah, exactly. All right, ultra.
I was like, all right, I gotta stay. Sorry.
Come on, ultra. Let's do it.
All right. Well, you guys have a good one.
Yeah.
Fuck my
But anyway, so there's nothing really I can go into so many different chats. I had so many different conversations about this Cowboys team. In this chat as well can continue it as I was talking about these backups.
Thanks, Jess.
Again, don't read too much when I say the whole Cooper Rush whole thing. Again, he's at the end part of his career where he wasn't as great. I mean, that was a team last year that he could have been successful with, and he just really couldn't do much with, and there was some really terrible throws. So I'm interested to see what he's going to do in Baltimore, and see if he even has any success over there, or if he's used. Do you think Lamar will fit up the whole season, So anyways, Brian, I appreciate you coming through. I know we kind of have to cut it a little bit just because, of course, I got to go celebrate my anniversary.
Yeah, my son's birthday. That's why I said I asked Saul to go on a little early, so that was nice. I appreciate it.
So, anyways, I appreciate everybody coming through. I appreciate everybody stopping in the chat, talking crap, especially you guys bickering back and forth. This thing's amazing. You guys have it's May, and we're already talking heavily just because of the NFL season that's pulling up. So, Brian, I appreciate you coming through. And one thing I appreciate everybody forgetting not to do:
ring that bell, everybody.
Ring that damn bell, guys. You guys take care. Peace.
That was ominous. What the was that? What the is this?
Dice que todo se va, sáquenme la botella que funda para gastarle. Esta noche tú y yo nos vivimos la película. Luce cámara, la acción después en mi recámara. En el duelo no se sabe quién ganará. So baile y bebe, ese seguro y retrocede. Que me encanta la manera en que tú lo mueves.
Solo véate un poquito, mami, que yo quiero enseñarte lo que yo tengo para ti. Lo que tengo para ti. Sé que te va a encantar.
Forgot what I was gonna say.